Greetings, delegates. Welcome to online Ahmed Model United Nations Conference 2020. I, Nikitha Manoj Thomas, will be the president for United Nations Human Rights Council. Aditi Manikandan will be the vice president, and Anoushka Madavi will be the rapporteur.
The Human Rights Council is the intergovernmental body of the United Nations, which carries the responsibility of strengthening the promotion and protection of human rights. It addresses the various situations of human rights violations around the globe. Every year, the Council meeting takes place at the UN office in Geneva.
11,000 organs were donated in the black market in 2010, according to WHO. It states that an organ is sold every hour, each day, every day, with predictable flow of funds crossing $1 billion annually. Both law enforcement agents and anti-money laundering professionals find it grim to detect related financial activity. This happens due to poor execution and enforcement of laws, and we as a committee hope to find appropriate solutions to this dire situation.
Every MUN has a set of rules of procedure it follows. We begin with roll call. Each session begins with a roll call, wherein the Bureau member will call out the names of the member states in alphabetical order. Delegates are expected to raise their hand and say present when their country has been called out. In case a delegate arrives after roll call, he or she is expected to send a note or a message to the chair confirming their presence.
General debate. General debate statements are an opportunity for each delegate to outline their nation's stance on the topic, highlight any national concerns, and suggest initiatives or any other course of action it intends to pursue at the conference. In addition, if a delegate finds the need to respond to a statement made by any other delegate, he or she can make a statement in reply. This is called the right of reply. A delegate who wishes to exercise their right of reply can only do so twice during the end of the general debate.
Informal consultations. Here the committee will be divided into 4 parts. At this stage, the rules of procedure are suspended. A. Before breaking into the political groups for the resolution drafting process, the entire committee must decide on how they want their operative section of the resolution structured. It is recommended that the committee first agrees upon 4 broad sections that the resolution should address.
Delegates will then meet with the political groups to begin drafting resolutions in a breakout room. The Bureau decides the political or regional groups in advance and will allocate the delegates to the respective groups.
Once each bloc has completed formulating their working papers, we move on to an important phase, that is merging of the various drafts to form a single complete draft resolution. This process is known as the Vienna formula and is facilitated by the Bureau. For this purpose, the Bureau will first compile the drafts into one single document and circulate it to the delegates. Each political group will have the opportunity to review this document before the merging process begins. While reviewing, it is recommended that the groups tag paragraphs that could be combined with other paragraphs, shortened or deleted.
To begin the Vienna formula process, one representative from each bloc will be the speaker, with the remaining member states of the bloc supporting the discussed viewpoint. Delegates are encouraged to rotate the representatives frequently. The result must be a draft resolution that is comprehensive and concise. Once the draft is ready to be reviewed, the document must be submitted to the Bureau along with a list of sponsors. The main submitters or authors of the draft resolution are termed sponsors. Remember, sponsors cannot suggest any amendments during the line-by-line review.
The next phase is the line-by-line review of the draft resolution. During this review, non-sponsors will have opportunity to pose changes to the draft, that is, amendments. A proposed amendment can add a paragraph, delete a paragraph, or modify an existing paragraph. The amendments will not be debated upon during the line-by-line review. After completion, we'll negotiate each amendment by providing specific reasons and examples in support of their stand. This process will be done in two ways. The sponsors and non-sponsors deliberate informally, or it may be moderated by the Bureau.
Formal meeting to take action. At this stage, the reviewed draft resolution must be formally introduced to the committee by the main sponsor. After this, the Bureau will ask the delegates if there are any objections to the draft resolution. If there are none, the draft resolution is adopted by consensus and is renamed Resolution 1.1.
Now, we will move on to your position paper. Remember, delegates, if the general debate is your committee's first impression about you, the position paper is your bureau's. What would be the textbook definition of a position paper? A position paper is a document describing a topic, your country's position, and possible solutions. Good research on your country and topic, along with clearly organized paragraphs, are key foundations to a good position paper.
It is generally divided into 3 paragraphs. You can always begin with a quote that is relevant to your country and topic. Beginning with facts that pertain to your topic also invokes the attention of the reader. An important point to note is in how you present your ideas. The first paragraph deals with the topic and highlights the main issues of the committee. This can be supported with statistics to show how alarming the issue is.
The second paragraph should focus on the country's policies. You may begin with what the international agencies like the UN have already done about the issue. Then, it must stress on your country's policies, events, and inevitably your country's position on the topic. Final paragraph is where your creativity is required. This emphasizes on possible solutions to the topic in your country's perspective that goes with the country's existing policies. Conclusion could be with a striking remark that sums up the entire paper. The bibliography is the area to cite websites and sources of information. And that gives the end of your position paper.
Always remember that as a delegate, one's role is to represent their country in the best way possible in an international arena. A position paper should never be critical of your own country. As a delegate, I succeed if I can convince you that the least developed nation in the world is doing something about a major problem. Each position paper undergoes several plagiarism checks, so it is very important that all the text is written in one's own words. These points may be what differentiates your position paper from a position paper.
Now, we move on to the resolution. Consensus in the decision-making process is when all the participants involved agree to a decision in the best interest of the whole group. The decision doesn't have to be the favored decision of every individual. It has to be a decision that can be accepted by everyone. Consensus is a very spirit of an MUN. The best delegate is not the one who speaks the most, but the one who tries to bring cooperation and agreement among all the delegates, thus building consensus in the committee.
The delegates must seek to make the debate an inclusive one by ensuring that the resolution addresses the concerns of as many delegates as possible. This can be achieved by paying close attention to the formal and informal debates. Delegates will be discussing their ideas and positions during these debates. They will want to consider how the vast variety of ideas can be brought together to create a resolution which reflects the common goals of the committee.
Now, we move on to specific rules pertaining to the online MUN conference. The mics of delegates will remain muted during the session and will be unmuted only when the delegate raises their hand and the Bureau gives them permission to speak. 2. The video should be switched on at all times. Failure to do so will be noted. 3. The chat between delegates will also be closed, and only the chat between the Bureau and the delegates will be left open.
Awards. Delegates will receive 4 awards depending on their performance and participation during the conference. They are as follows. First, the Best Delegate Award. Second, the Best Position Paper Award. Third, the Diplomacy Award. Fourth, honorable mention.
Now let us move on to some common misconceptions about the MUN conference. 1. More importance should be given to the country rather than the topic. Many delegates research extensively on all aspects of their country and leave out researching on the actual topic. Keep in mind that only with good knowledge of the topic will one be able to combine the two together when writing your position paper as well as during the resolution drafting.
One needs to speak a lot during the conference. It is not about how much you speak, rather what you speak about. The conference teaches about diplomacy, which is voicing your opinion, but in a way everyone agrees to it. Remember to state your opinions, but in a diplomatic and an understanding manner.
3. Research means searching the depths of the internet. Always be systematic when you research. Having an aim and accessing reliable sources are the key to a good research. Organize your information and ponder on where you lack sources. Keep in mind to read through the background guide well, but that is never the limit of your research.
And thus we have come to the end of our webinar. Hope this has been a helpful guide for you to begin with. Remember, it is hard work and passion that takes us forward. We look forward to meeting you all, and good luck.